New Zealand, an island nation isolated from the rest of the world by thousands of kilometres of open ocean. Landscapes forged by titanic forces. Peaks carved by fire and ice. Rugged coastlines and primeval forests. Over millions of years, these islands and neighbouring Australia became extraordinary evolutionary laboratories. Bizarre species found nowhere else on Earth emerged and thrived. None is more unique than New Zealand's national symbol, the Kiwi.
Kiwi don't fly, they don't have wings.
How did a flightless bird arrive on islands isolated by 2,000 kilometres of ocean?
This is real primeval territory, Neil.
To understand this mystery, researchers are exploring remote locations throughout the country.
And of course, what we're not going to find are wing bones, right? Because there were none.
When and how did this iconic bird emerge?
Because of this DNA work, the whole family tree's been torn up.
Five species of kiwi live throughout New Zealand. But the west coast of the South Island is home to the rarest of all. Just 450 Rowi kiwi are left in existence, and the wetland forests of Okarito hold the entire wild population. This unique bird faces a bleak future. 10 years ago, researchers from the Department of Conservation developed a rescue strategy. All adult Rowi kiwi were tagged with transmitters as part of Operation Nest Egg. Scientists are scanning the ground to discover which birds are laying eggs and where. It used to take them months to survey this landscape, but with every bird now tagged, the process takes just a few hours. Radio signals from the bird's transmitters are relayed back to base. The information reveals far more than just location. The devices alert the team to when an egg is laid, and one has just been found.
Right, come in. Good girl.
Now the race is on to find the exact location of the nest. The signal from the bird's transmitter narrows the search area to 10 square metres. Ian Graham is head of the recovery team, and today he's joined by Nicola Torquay, the Department of Conservation's Threatened Species Ambassador.
My job is to raise the profile and awareness of our many, many threatened species, of which the Okarito Rowi kiwi is one. In fact, it's our most endangered kiwi. It's a pretty dense country in here.
The team needs to locate and recover the egg before it becomes lunch for a hungry predator. Around the size of a small dog, the kiwi is one of the world's strangest birds. Its feathers resemble fur. Its wings are too small to fly. Taking turns caring for their single egg, kiwi parents hunt for grubs and insects amongst the leaf litter. Kiwi have been living on the forest floor for millennia. Less than 100 years ago, their population was in the millions. The stoat is the Kiwi's #1 threat. They were introduced by Europeans to control the rabbit population. But these voracious predators found the kiwi to be easier prey. Although adult kiwi have powerful feet and claws to fight off stoats, their eggs and chicks are extremely vulnerable.
Rowi are only found here in Okarito, and if we were to do nothing, 19 out of 20 of these birds would die at the jaws and claws of stoats in the wild.
So Sky Tracker can only get us so far.
Yeah, it knows roughly where the bird is.
Once on the ground, the team use handheld technology to guide them closer.
Generally, we come out here and we have to find it with this. So it's, and rain. Yeah.
Rain, the sniffer dog, provides the final up-close tracking to locate the precious egg. In prehistoric New Zealand, the kiwi developed a strong scent to recognise each other in the dark.
Looks like she's on it.
But today, it's this distinct odour that makes them an easy target for stoats.
Found it.
Good girl. Good girl. All right, good girl.
Go
Just have a look, see what we're dealing with, eh?
Kiwi parents spend daylight hours in their den, taking turns to incubate the enormous egg.
Have a look.
Oh my goodness. I'm very lucky in my job that I get to see kiwi a lot. But every time I see one, I still get that same sense of magic. They're like nothing else in the world.
To recover the egg, Ian must crawl into the burrow. Careful management is critical to the chick's survival.
Basically, if it doesn't get sat on again or warmed up within the 24 hours, it's likely that that egg will die.
Yeah.
See how we go.
The parent kiwi retreat, leaving the egg exposed.
I guess our biggest challenge is collecting that egg without causing too much stress to the bird. If the birds don't move off the egg, there's a chance that they can kick or potentially put a hole or a crack in that egg. So those contortion skills come in handy. Nearly there.
Ian is well aware that two pairs of powerful legs armed with sharp claws are very close. It's nearly 10 times larger than a chicken's egg, and handling with care is critical. The embryo can be easily damaged.
You got it?
Yep, got it. Wow. It was a pretty special moment to be handed a real live kiwi egg, but it also meant a lot of responsibility. So I was focusing as hard as I could on making sure I didn't, jiggle the egg too much.
So what we're looking for in general is just any cracks in the egg surface. If there's a crack in there, we need to transport it basically crack side up because we don't want anything spilling out of the egg.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can see that air cell.
Yep.
So that also tells me that the egg's upright.
So basically, we just want to smooth the ride out as we can.
Yeah.
The egg size and underground location point to the unique environment this extraordinary bird lived in millions of years ago. But what does it reveal about how a flightless bird first arrived on these isolated islands? The team has just completed the 30-kilometre journey from Okarito, where they've rescued a Rowi kiwi egg. it will be hatched in safety at the West Coast Wildlife Centre in Franz Josef. Kim Bryan Walker is a surrogate parent for up to 30 chicks.
Oh my goodness. What have we got here?
She's joined by Nicola Torkey, the Department of Conservation's Threatened Species Ambassador.
This is quite an enormous egg for a relatively small bird. Is this about standard for these chicks?
For Rowi, average is around 400 grams, so you're looking about 20% of the weight of the female when it's laid.
No other bird carries an egg of such enormous size in relation to its body mass. By the time it's ready to be laid, the egg is so large that the mother's body doesn't even have space for food. The egg also has a higher proportion of yolk than other bird eggs. It can sustain the chick for up to 80 days before it hatches, more than twice the usual incubation period for a bird. This chick is ready, and the long process of hatching has begun. Kim imitates her parent bird to test the chick's responses.
Good bubbles.
I can hear 'em.
Little tiny little squeaks.
It's amazing.
On average, it takes 5 or 6 days to fully hatch. The hatching process is slow because, unlike most other chicks, kiwi lack an egg tooth, a lump on the top of their beak to help them break the shell. But that extra time in the egg is one of the secrets of the kiwi's success. Most bird chicks are born blind and helpless. Kiwi chicks emerge developed and able to fend for themselves. Chicks are raised at the centre for the first 3 to 4 weeks of their lives. During that time, they'll double their weight.
So here's this wee fella.
This is Wisp, the Rowi chick. Wisp is 29 days old today, so nearly a month of age. Doing very, very well.
You can really see how they kind of pop out ready to go, can't you? He's like just a perfect miniature of an adult.
The kiwi's long gestation period gave it a head start over bird species hatching helpless chicks. But did it sacrifice its ability to fly in order to carry these uniquely massive eggs?
Because kiwi don't fly, they don't have wings, but they do actually have sort of wings.
They
don't
do. There's a vestigial wing. Here's our wing tucked under there.
The tiny claw.
Tiny little claw right on the tip there next to them.
It's got something very unusual that no other bird has, right?
Very unusual. So kiwi nostrils are right at the tip of this bill here, of this beak. If you're in this. And a little oval just here. That's the end of her nostril. So there's 2 hollow tubes that run across the top there. So they'll push those nostrils underground and sniff and snuffle and find their dinner. And there's also a vibration sensor right on the tip, so you can see her poking away at my fingers because she can feel that they're moving, really. So they'll feel vibrations of food underground.
The beak acts like a blind man's cane, detecting slight vibrations caused by worms and insects on the forest floor. Cat-like whiskers help kiwi navigate by touch. These unique adaptations mean kiwi can hunt as successfully at night as other birds do in the day. But perhaps the kiwi's most astonishing feat was to populate islands in the middle of a vast ocean. How did it manage this, and why did it lose the ability to fly? Close relatives can provide clues. The kiwi comes from a group of birds called ratites. Surprisingly, kiwi have some giant cousins. They include the Australian emu and the South American rhea. Comparing kiwi to other ratites can help us understand how they might first have begun to adapt to life in New Zealand. The Moresby Ranges in northeastern Australia are also home to ancient forests. But unlike New Zealand, these are warm and tropical. The rainforest in this area has thrived for at least 165 million years. So has a close relative of the kiwi. Like its distant cousin, the cassowary is a ratite. Differences between the birds offer clues about why and how the kiwi separated from the rest of its family. Despite having a common ancestor, the kiwi and the cassowary developed their own strategies for success. Unfortunately, neither bird was well prepared for the modern era. The last 4 decades have seen a rapid decline in cassowaries due to habitat loss.
Let's do this, bud.
Scientist Tom Lawton and his assistant Ethan Parker are researching the habits of cassowary in an attempt to reverse their dwindling numbers.
Test the tag. Yep, perfect.
It's 4:30 in the morning, and Tom is hiding a tracking device. A trek through dense undergrowth brings them to the bait station. Any animals taking the bait will trigger a camera.
Just before 5 a.m. So yeah, let's get out of here before the birds start moving and...
Four hours later, they return.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah.
Success. The cassowary has eaten the banana and tracker.
Big bird. Yeah. Adult female, I think.
By following the signal, the team will be able to track the bird and learn more about how they live. A cassowary's territory spans an area of around 7 square kilometres, so there's plenty of ground to cover.
Oh, mate, she's long gone. Let's go. Go for a waddle.
Cassowaries and kiwi shared a common ancestor 58 million years ago. But despite a 20-fold difference in size, they have more in common with each other than with birds outside the ratite family. Like the kiwi, the cassowary has no functioning wings and also has extremely powerful legs and feet. It can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometres an hour. What sets them apart is their history. 100 million years ago, both Australia and New Zealand were part of a supercontinent, Gondwana, which included most of the landmasses in today's southern hemisphere. Titanic forces beneath the Earth's crust began to split Gondwana apart. New Zealand broke away before the arrival of mammals, leaving a niche for birds to fill. But unlike New Zealand, Australia became home to large numbers of prehistoric mammals. To defend themselves from attack, cassowary became aggressive fighters. They are reputed to be the world's most dangerous bird. If challenged, they can use their enormous dagger-like claws with deadly force. Adult birds have been known to seriously injure people who surprise them. As their rainforest habitat is destroyed, such incidents are becoming more common. Cassowary are now venturing into the suburbs and onto beaches to find food. Conflict with humans is inevitable.
The birds do have the potential to be extremely dangerous towards people. Most of the time, your conflict situations come when the birds have been fed and therefore associate people with food.
Tom and Ethan receive a signal at a local garden nursery.
Oh, here you go. She's just sat up underneath that pandana. It's a good spot for her anyway. It's quiet. No dogs, at least.
Yeah.
There's heaps of fruit for her here.
Unlike the insect-eating kiwi, cassowary have evolved to eat mainly fruit. They perform a vital role in the forest, spreading seeds in their droppings. Scientists are concerned that fruit farms and banana plantations are changing the foraging patterns of cassowary.
They're really unknown about how they're foraging through that landscape and how the availability of food resources may be affecting their foraging ecology.
Data from Tom's tracking project enables a better understanding of their movements and will reduce encounters with humans. Environmental differences between Australia and New Zealand turned the cassowary into a large fighter that lived off fruit, while the kiwi became small and nocturnal. These differences highlight the dramatic role the environment plays in determining the future of a species. But what can it teach us about how a flightless bird arrived in New Zealand? More answers to the mystery of the kiwi's evolution are emerging from an extraordinary treasure trove of ancient bones. Across the Tasman Sea in New Zealand, the Okarito Basin is an isolated and primeval landscape. Rainwater running off the surrounding forest stains its rivers brown. The brown water is produced by a natural dye called tannin. It makes the water acidic and has been dissolving the limestone here for millions of years. Neil Silverwood is one of New Zealand's most experienced cave explorers. Today, he's guiding Moa expert Quinn Berenson and DNA researcher Jamie Wood from Landcare Research deep into the region's wildest places. And the easiest way to get there is by kayak.
This is real primeval territory, Neil. It's just got that real timeless feel to it. It's incredible.
They're here because a cousin of the kiwi once walked these forest pathways, the moa. Found nowhere else in the world, 9 species of moa once ranged across New Zealand. The smallest was just turkey-sized, but one species towered over the rest. Giant moa grew to more than 3.5 meters high. They were the tallest birds to ever live. As fellow ratites, they share a similar history to the kiwi. More have been extinct for over 500 years, but their remains can still be found. The team is heading for a cave system carved over 35 million years into a maze of chambers, arches and channels.
Hold on tight.
Watch out for the watch out for the log, watch out for the log.
Here we go.
That was close.
That was close.
You right, Jamie?
Everyone was hoping it was me though, right? Admit it, admit it.
Their destination is a section of the cave complex called Honeycomb Hill. "14 kilometres of tunnels and caves twist their way beneath just 1 square kilometre of woodland. Its secrets were kept safe for thousands of years.
These look like little cave entrances everywhere, Neil.
And the water's very acidic, you know, and that's why the caves are here in the first place. And this canyon here, rather than being carved away, is actually being dissolved down.
Hidden on the forest floor are deep vertical sinkholes.
So I guess we have to be a bit careful through here, Neil. Fall down or anything.
Ah, yeah, there's just holes everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These dangerous shafts are why the scientists are here.
Yeah, it's a stunning looking entrance. Into another world.
Yeah.
Watch out, this is pretty slick.
Yeah. Yep, take it easy.
Wow.
Look at that. Now I see why it's called Honeycomb Hill. Really is just like Swiss cheese, this whole landscape, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a very unique cave system. I think there's something like 60 entrances, and they're the perfect pitfall traps for animals. So everything that's on the surface, at one time or another, has fallen down those shafts and died.
You know, those gigantic, clumsy birds, maybe leaning out too far to get a nice succulent fern or something, and boom,
Tumbled down the hole.
down the hole. So we're looking deeper into the system for moa bones.
Yeah, moa caves down here.
Really going into the underworld now. Oh yeah, there we go, look. Wow. This is a real boneyard, isn't it?
Honeycomb Hill was a place I've wanted to come for a long time. I'd seen moa bones kind of singularly or skeletons in museums, but all of a sudden you have this vast graveyard in front of you.
These caves hold the largest collection of ancient bones ever discovered in New Zealand, including more than 50 prehistoric bird species. Over time, hundreds of more fell down the sinkholes, their bones washed into this chamber by an underground stream.
Coming into caves like this is a fascinating experience. It's like travelling back through time, actually getting to see the bones of moa as they were when the bird fell there. They have basically been untouched.
So they've obviously been here a long time. How long have they been here?
Yeah, well, most of the ones we see in front of us here, probably somewhere in the range of 10 to 20,000 years old.
Yeah. I can see some huge leg bones. So that's your tibia, big main leg bone, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got scraps of pelvis.
So they're all big legs, big body, and then just sort of a skinny neck and a tiny little head. And of course, what we're not going to find are wing bones, right? Because there were none. They really had just evolved to become walking machines.
Absolutely.
Like their relative the cassowary, moa and kiwi took different evolutionary paths. But why? DNA analysis has shed light on the moa. But more surprising is what it has revealed about the origins of the kiwi. Moa thrived in New Zealand for millions of years. They belong to the same family of largely flightless birds as the kiwi, the ratites. With no mammals in New Zealand, moa dominated the islands. The largest moa was more than 70 times the size of a kiwi. But they evolved together. What niche did the kiwi hold in the forest? While plant-eating moa were active during the day, the kiwi evolved to hunt insects at night. This avoided competition for limited resources. And there may have been an even more compelling reason why kiwi evolved to be nocturnal and live in burrows. In contrast to Australia, in New Zealand, no dangerous ground predators evolved, but that didn't mean it was safe. As recently as 700 years ago, an eye blink in evolution, New Zealand's skies boasted a breathtaking sight. These forests were once home to the largest eagle to ever live.
In a bird of prey, all the power is in the feet. And as you can see, the thick, powerful toes and talons the size of tiger claws. This is a reconstructed foot of a Haast's eagle.
Haast's eagle weighed up to 16 kilograms with a wingspan over 3 meters. Stories told by New Zealand's indigenous Māori people tell how these birds, called poakai, would even attack children.
There are large, strong tendons which run up the leg and down to each of the toes, which allow the bird to have this crushing grip on its prey.
Their favourite prey was the giant moa. The eagle's razor-sharp talons could plunge 10 centimetres through feathers, skin and flesh, ripping into internal organs. Moa pelvises have been discovered with parallel rows of claw marks gouged deep into the bone. The eagle's large beak could tear through its prey's organs. Death would have been caused by shock and blood loss. If even the giant moa could fall victim, what chance was there for the kiwi? To avoid Haast's eagle, they evolved to hide beneath the ground during the day. With the arrival of the first humans around 800 years ago, moa were hunted to extinction. Without moa as its primary food source, the giant eagles eventually died out with it. New Zealand's only other endemic bird of prey fared a bit better. Wingspan is located in the town of Rotorua. This national centre is New Zealand's leading conservation, education and research organisation for birds of prey. Executive Director Debbie Stoat has formed a unique bond with Aussie, a 12-year-old New Zealand falcon.
He's a bush falcon variety, and the South Island is slightly bigger, but you'll notice that he's very coloured up at the moment, typical of an adult. He's got bright yellow legs, he's got yellow eye rings as well. And the one thing about falcons, they always like to go for the high vantage points, and it just gives them a better chance to look around and see what's going on. This is a bird that's found nowhere else in the world.
Today, they are even rarer than kiwi. The New Zealand falcon evolved millions of years ago in a largely forested landscape. They have developed a body shape that optimises their ability to hunt and manoeuvre in dense and tangled environments. This has made them a lethal predator.
They're a little bit different than other falcons. They've got a long tail, they've got broader wings. We believe that this gives them the manoeuvrability through the forest. Underneath the canopy, they'll be flying through. This is New Zealand's fastest bird. Part of their hunting ability is all around impact and speed and the ability to kill their prey quickly.
This fearsome predator has eyesight 8 times sharper than a human's, meaning they can spot small prey from hundreds of meters away and then ambush it with frightening speed and cunning. They may be agile and fearsome hunters when they're adults, but newly hatched falcons are a different story. Unlike kiwi chicks, which are unusual in being independent and alert from day one, these young falcon chicks are completely dependent on their parents to survive. Debbie must play foster mother to these 2 chicks.
This little one here is a young male. He's only 17 days old. And this one here is a female, twice the size, and she's 20 days old today. So the growth rate of these young chicks is really quite remarkable. So they're only about 20 grams when they hatch in weight.
Thanks to Debbie's efforts, 38 days after hatching, these falcon chicks will be fully fledged aerial assassins, ready to be released back into the wild and take their place as New Zealand's only endemic bird of prey. If the moa and the presence of Haast's eagle explain the kiwi's nocturnal habits, one last mystery remains. Why can't the kiwi fly? Scientists have long believed ratites came from a common flightless ancestor living on Gondwana, which became isolated once New Zealand split away. The assumption was that one flightless bird species evolved to become both the moa and the kiwi. But recent advances in DNA technology have challenged this belief. The moa bones from Honeycomb Hill provide the key.
So there's still DNA left in these bones, even though they're 20,000 years old?
Yeah, there'll be DNA in these bones, but there'll be very, very small amounts, and it'll be broken up into tiny little fragments. So working with the DNA will be basically like trying to piece a puzzle back together.
Extracting DNA from ancient bones has its challenges.
Typically, we'd expect between 1% and 5% of the DNA in that bone to actually be moa. The rest of it will be fungi, bacteria, everything that lives in that bone after the organism has died. So the genetic code is a really useful way at looking at relationships between species. And so by being able to get DNA out of moa bones has told us a lot about its relationships to other ratites, such as kiwi.
They got DNA from different ratites, living and extinct, and then you compare them.
So you choose a particular gene from every single species. You line them up side by side, and then that gives you an idea of how different or how closely related those species are.
Right, so which ratites are most closely related out of the group?
Yeah.
As the bones give up their secrets, they reveal something completely unexpected.
You would think that if there's two ratites in New Zealand, the moa and the kiwi, that they would be more closely related to each other than they are to the other ratites spread around the world.
Surprisingly, DNA analysis reveals the turkey-sized South American bird, the tinamu, and not the kiwi, is the moa's closest relative. Experts were even more surprised to discover that the tinamu is a ratite that can fly. Despite the moa being the only bird with no vestige of a wing, at some point it must have been able to fly.
So you've got the only bird without wings related to the only ratite that can fly, which was completely unexpected.
Right.
Yeah.
The moa wasn't the kiwi's nearest relative. Further DNA analysis revealed the kiwi's closest relative was found in only one place: Madagascar. At upwards of 500 kilograms, the extinct elephant bird was even heavier than the giant moa. Most scientists now believe the moa and the kiwi didn't descend from a common flightless ancestor, but instead arrived by air 50 million years ago and after New Zealand was already an island. Ratites could fly. This research shows not only did kiwi fly to New Zealand, but they arrived 10 million years after the moa. The two species had separate journeys to flightlessness.
Because of this quite recent DNA work, the whole family tree's been torn up, and the little famous flightless bird actually flew here after all.
So why did kiwi lose the ability to fly? Flying consumes a lot of energy and restricts how large a bird can grow. The kiwi opted for extra weight and the ability to lay a large egg, which resulted in better survival rates. With no need to escape from predators, hunting on the ground was easier than in the air. So over time, the birds evolved to become flightless. Isolation from the rest of the world allowed the kiwi to follow a unique path, one where birds took the place of mammals. The kiwi became a nocturnal creature, living much of the time in a den and sniffing out food with nostrils at the end of its beak. It was an evolutionary trick that served the kiwi well for millions of years. Back on the west coast of New Zealand's South Island, Department of Conservation Ranger Ian Graham and Threatened Species Ambassador Nicola Torki are headed back into the Okarito wetlands. Two Rowi kiwi chicks, who had been living in a predator-free sanctuary, have come of age. They are now old enough to defend themselves against predators and can be released into their home forest.
6 years ago, it was extremely critical. We had probably less than 200 individuals remaining on the planet. And in the last 6 years, we've been able to more than double the population through the Operation Nest Egg program. We're certainly not out of the woods, and they're still going to need all the kind of TLC we can give them. But it's really nice to be part of a program that is on the way up. So this one's properly on its own now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Yep.
Off to the wild. Okay,
By looking at the kiwi as a bird that tried to become a mammal, its unique biology starts to make sense.
There he goes.
Once it flew to New Zealand, the kiwi followed the example of the moa and eventually lost the use of its wings.
Here we go.
New Zealand's national symbol was originally a visitor that decided to stay. Thankfully, the Rowi population is stabilising, and this remarkable bird's chances are looking up.
They are only found here in New Zealand. They're like nothing else in the world. And there's just something about them that, you know, makes you want to pull out all the stops to protect them.
Kiwi evolutionary research offers fresh insight into how life might have developed in the rest of the world had mammals never evolved.